to 18 years of marriage. I've taken them off, and they're not going back on. Not on this finger, anyway. My emeralds, I love my emeralds. So, I will wear those, but I won't wear no more wedding rings that you gave me. I'll just have them, the diamonds and the emeralds, set in something else. Because I'm not giving them back to you to give to some trashy trailer trash. Because this woman's independent. I can make my own money. And that's what you loved about me, was the fact I was independent. I was a faithful military wife. After all them long-ass deployments. And don't say, I mean, I ain't all that, but I ain't ugly. And I'm faithful. There's a man out there who'll appreciate that, even at my age, which he says, at 50, well, I'm 54. Wow. At 54, you'll never find anybody else. Well, you know what? I may not, but I don't need anyone else. And if I do, I'll choose him.
Let's be real for a second. A 54-year-old woman walks out on an 18-year marriage to a man who wore the uniform for decades. Deployments, danger, the weight of holding down a family while the world sleeps. And why? Because she says he didn't appreciate her enough. That's not liberation, that's blind selfishness. Think about what he gave up for her. Late nights, worrying over gunfire on the horizon, the guilt of missing birthdays, anniversaries, and sick days, the constant wrestling with memories he can't unload. You don't waltz into that kind of storm and walk away when the sky isn't perfectly blue. Appreciation isn't a souvenir you collect and flaunt. It's earned and exchanged. Did she thank him for the roof he kept over her head while he was halfway around the world? Did she notice the tremor in his hands when he tried to fold a shirt because it reminded him of his uniform? Or did she treat his sacrifices like background noise, only turning the volume up when she felt unheard? A marriage isn't a rewards program where you rack up points until you cash out. It's a two-way street of late-night comfort, shared burdens, and the messy business of loving someone with scars, seen and unseen. So before she goes hunting for some new admirer to appreciate her, maybe she ought to ask, did she ever truly appreciate him? So she went ahead and posted a follow-up video, and apparently her ex-husband moved on and got a new woman. This is her reaction.
Just know, I haven't made it home to Arizona yet. I actually made it to New Mexico. I've got to be at work like in 12 hours. I hope I make it home. But anyway, I'm good. I'm good. I went to see an old friend who's I met while I was a wife and my husband was in the Marine Corps before he transferred to the Army. A really dear friend, and so I spent 36 hours there with her, and it helped a lot. So, and reading your comments, and I don't care if he sees this. I don't care if his so-called girlfriend or whatever she's calling herself these days sees this. I don't care who sees it. So just know I've moved on. I'm moving on. I'm going to be happy. I love my job, and I'm going to do this. So keep me in your prayers, okay?
It's impossible for you to move on, especially with the knowledge that your husband was able to score probably a more attractive, more agreeable, and nicer woman than you could ever hope to become. Let's have a look at some comments. This comment says, interesting that her husband replaced her before the ink dried on the divorce she asked for. He had options, she did not. She couldn't see that. When I watch these videos of women documenting their journey through their new life after divorcing their husbands, I'm reminded of Jack Nicholson's character in As Good as It Gets. When asked how he could write so well about a woman's mindset, he said, I think of a man, and then I take away reason and accountability. She's married to her job and let resentment creep into her marriage. She's independent, and now she really is independent. Sharing one's entire life online is a major concern for me. Trust becomes questionable when someone exposes so much of their personal information in a public space. This, in my view, is a clear red flag and a definite deal breaker.
You finally realize your husband's not going to change. So what is the solution? What are you going to do from here? First, you have to ask yourself honestly, are you okay with leaving? Are you okay with walking away from this? Because he's not going to change. He's not going to give you what you want.
Why ask him to change now, after marriage? People don't change unless they want to, and they rarely do. Marriage is a two-way street. Instead of just threatening divorce or taking his stuff, maybe ask, what can I do differently? Because real change starts with self-reflection, not just demands.
It's been X amount of years that you've been asking for the same thing over and over and over again. Because if he cared, he would have changed the first time you asked. If he cared, he would have changed the first time you came to him with issues, or at least he would have attempted to want to work on them. But he doesn't, because it's benefited him to not do those things. Now you realize that. Now what do? Do you have the ability to leave? If you don't have the ability to leave, whether financially or because you have kids, you have to just start living life for yourself. Literally, your only life.
When you have kids, life isn't just about you, it's about them. Marriage means committing to someone else's needs too. Yet some people treat vows like a checklist, dodging responsibility the moment it's inconvenient. Accountability isn't oppression, it's partnership. If you're not ready to prioritize family over yourself, maybe don't say I do in the first place.
And if you can't leave, then you have to start living it for yourself. And if you can leave, if you have the means to leave, if you have the choice, you have to take a hard look and you have to really evaluate if you're willing to give up this relationship. Are you willing to leave a relationship?
Listen carefully to how she downgraded marriage into a relationship so it's easier to quit. I mean, when I think of relationships, I don't think of anything sacred or special, such as a marriage. I think of something temporary and easy to leave. But she has to do this in order to make it more palatable to her conscience.
Are you willing to leave a relationship that you have likely been in for a long time, that you have found comfort in, that is comfortable right now?
And here goes the comfort paradox. She'll walk away from stability because she can't control him. No abuse, no crisis, just a man who won't bend to her demands. Funny how empowerment often means my way or the highway. Let's be real. This isn't about survival, it's about supremacy.
Because you're unhappy and you know that it won't get better. That's the honest question you have to ask yourself. And that is by far the hardest question.
Classic blame game, she's dumping everything on him. But what's her role in this? Funny how these social media sob stories always paint the wife as the flawless victim. Marriage is a two-way street. If she's claiming 100% innocence, I call 100% BS. There's always another side, and it's usually not the one getting likes on TikTok.